So when we last left our project, we had made some fairly extensive modifications to our sandblasting cabinet, all with the idea of creating a pass-through that would let us do large parts without losing a whole bunch of blasting media. And that's been working pretty well, but as I've been using it, one of the things I've noticed is moisture on the parts that I've been blasting. And that's a sure sign that I've got water in my compressed air. So I set off to modify our air compressor to try to help alleviate this problem. The idea was to plumb in an inline air cooler before the air got to the tank, and it turns out I am not very good at bending copper tubing. Well, after a lot of work, we have something here that actually works. This tube used to be here, and it would come out of the compressor and right down into the tank. The problem was that up here at the head, if this thing ran for a couple cycles, it wasn't unusual for this to get up to about 300 degrees Fahrenheit up here. And then there'd be a whole lot of water in the lines. So now we come out of the compressor head and loop around and go into this radiator back here, and there's a cooling fan, and it comes out of the bottom and into this water trap. This water trap auto drains every time the unloader valve triggers. After it's come up to full pressure, this drains itself. So this is working really nice. There's still a little bit of work I have to do up here bolting this thing down. I want to make a bracket coming off of here to hold this. That's why I'm just using this crescent wrench to kind of temporarily hold things in place, but it's working really good. So we'll let this run, and we'll get a measurement of the heat coming off the top of this thing. This is practically room temperature here, and I wouldn't want to touch that with your hand. I'm not going to create an in-depth how-to on this particular project. There are tons of examples of this same thing right here on YouTube, but I will leave links down below in the video description of the exact parts that I use in case you want to replicate what I've done here. And purchasing through those links, it doesn't cost you anything extra, but we do earn a small commission that helps support projects here on the channel. And speaking of supporting projects here on the channel, I just wanted to let you know that we've got our first Glory Days Amusement t-shirt, and I'm pretty happy with the vintage retro look of this design. It comes in 4 different colors, and purchases of this shirt also help support projects on this channel, and they're just in time for the holidays. Alright, so far we've been using glass bead on this, but we've got this leftover black stuff from sandblasting the tower, and I think it's coal slag. So we're going to give that a try, see if it's a bit more aggressive. So our little setup here seems to be working pretty well. We got the easy up over top of us to keep the sun off, and a fan, and pretty pleasant actually to work on. The only problem is I can't see what I'm doing, and I could be moving a whole lot faster if I could see. The plastic surface of the sandblasting cabinet has become sandblasted. It's frosted now, and I can't really see. There's replaceable plastic sheets that double-sided tape to the underside, but I am out of those right now. So I'm heading to the town to see if I can find something to replace it with. So hopefully that was a successful trip. I went to the fabric store and got a couple yards of clear vinyl and some double-sided tape. And that should allow me to replace that piece multiple times for far cheaper than what it would cost if I would buy the commercially available replacements for that blaster. And the problem with the commercially available ones is that nobody stocks them. So it's always a couple weeks to get them. And for what they cost, I don't think it's worth it. We'll see once I cut into this vinyl how many replacement pieces I get, but I suspect it's going to be a lot cheaper. All right, let's see about peeling this old piece of plastic off so that I can measure it, figure out what I need to replace it with. You can see how frosted that is. It'd be nice if I could see that well. We're 16 by 12. All right, well, there's a piece. On a rainy day, I could sit out here and make dozens of these. Much better.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for Ride of the Week.
This week's Ride of the Week is coming to us from the pages of Facebook Marketplace. This is a Go Forth F80 kitty ride that's sitting out in a field near Altoona, Pennsylvania. It looks to be pretty much complete and appears to be a great candidate for a restoration project. And if you know of a ride rusting away in a field or hiding in a barn, send us an email to rescue@peterondeau.com and tell us all about it. Or aim your phone at that QR code on the screen and it'll start that email for you.
And that's been this week's Ride of the Week.
One little project I want to tackle before getting back to the restoration stuff is this drawer. Ever since installing it, I want to put some sort of front on it, and I was walking around Lowe's like I'm known to do, looking for plywood or something, and nothing was really striking my fancy. I didn't want to buy a whole sheet of plywood. And then I just happened to be walking down the aisle where they had things for building stairs, and I found this stair tread. It's a pine board that's I think 12 inches wide, 4 feet long, an inch thick, and I think it's going to be pretty much perfect for what we want here. So I am going to get some holes drilled in this metal. We'll probably attach this with screws from the inside. I've also got a handle to add to it, and that should get us well on our way. Just be able to set that on there. Measure our spacing. Close that. Pull these out. I'm pretty happy with how that turned out. I guess the only thing really left to do is slap a coat of paint on it. So next time I'm at Lowe's, I'll probably pick up a quart or two. I got the vast majority of this done, and it's ready for primer, all except for down here at the end, where it can't fit inside the sandblaster. So I think we're probably just going to have to take a wire brush to this part of it. Each sweep has this one extra chain, which we don't need on there. But originally there would have been rounding boards on here. These chains were not original. And if I can get these off of here, it'll just make cleanup easier. It'll make this lighter to carry around. So we'll try to get these links off. It'll make it easier to clean this up. Boy, I wish we could sandblast this. This is definitely one of those where there's a will, there's a way sort of situations. It was not easy, but we got it in there. We got it supported out there. Starting to get there. Well, I think that's just about it. My original goal for today was to get a coat of primer on this, but I think I'd be better off taking this into work and using the paint booth. Probably get a much nicer finish there. So that's my new plan. So we sent the steering wheels out to a friend of mine who had got set up for powder coating, and he did them and sent them back. He hasn't contacted me at all, so he didn't tell me if there were any problems or anything like that. So we're just gonna open it, and my reaction is gonna be the first reaction I have. So I have no preconceived notions of what's in this box. All right. Well, a lot of paper. I see one right here. A little dusty from the paper, but I got no complaints with that. See if I can find another one in here. Oh, here's another one. This one was sealed for your protection. All right. That powder coating really does a nice job. There we are. They look real nice. I'm happy with that. My friend sent along some video of him powder coating these steering wheels, so let's go take a look at that.
Many people achieve long-term relief and remission. Infusion and serious allergic reactions can happen during or after treatment. Entyvio may increase risk of infection, which can be serious. Although unlikely, a risk of PML, a rare, serious, potentially fatal brain infection, cannot be ruled out. The only thing that matters. Advanced Security 24/7 professional monitoring.
Alright, so I'm happy with that. I didn't realize until after I got all set up that I forgot my respirator and left it at home. But at that point I was pretty much committed and I wasn't gonna let that stop me. So hopefully that exhaust fan did a good job and this job won't be the end of me here. That's 1 down and 4 to go.
The next day.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. That right there is sweep number 1. Just got to do something with the chain yet, and then I'll probably put some sort of anti-rust coating on the inside of the tube.